I'm terribly sorry I didn't upload last night. It was far too late by the time all the footage had uploaded and got to a point where I could actually start editing it. So I'm going to edit it today while Rowan's asleep and probably record today's vlog as well while I'm doing that. So yeah, without further ado, hello and welcome to the end of day number 26. Fairly certain it's number 26. Lunch today was this little concoction that you see before you. That is a lentil base stew, I want to say. Not quite how I imagined it would go. Dinner today, I have no idea at this exact moment in time what I'm actually going to have. I think I might just do the home fries. Yeah, today's been a big sort of cleaning day in the house. Now that that's all out of the way with, we can carry on with some story time, can't we? One of the ones that really sticks with me, we used to get accounts that came through that said, we think the meter's running slow or it's not progressing because we've had the engineers go in and you know, we've been estimating reads for a while, and the ones that we keep getting from the customers say that there's been no electricity used. You know, we would look through previous bills, we would look at what was going on, we would look at move in and move out dates because we keep track of those things. We would look at, you know, sort of prior usage and see whether or not, you know, on average it was about right. It was educated guesswork. This one place that we got through had no usage at all. Got all of these reads, but every single one is an estimated read, and you know, we get a customer read sort of 2 months in, and that had advanced the meter by 1 kilowatt hour over the entire course of this time, which you usually use 1 kilowatt hour boiling the kettle, or maybe like 2 kilowatt hours running your coffee percolator. Obviously, this is a little bit weird. Gone through all of this stuff and we said, right, well, we can't send an engineer around because every time we send an engineer, never get in, and this, you know. We had a bit of a brainwave, me and 2 other people that were looking into it. And we said, hang on a minute, Google Earth has just come out. Let's give that a try. The photograph had been taken during winter. So all the houses in the entire street around were covered in snow, and the roof of this one house was not. I don't know exactly how the meter was sabotaged, but I think that the usual way that people did it was you would get a screwdriver. In this case, I'm gonna, you know, demonstrate with the knife because it's all I've got to hand. I don't have one right next to me in the kitchen. So you would take the screwdriver and you would jam it in between the 2 contacts after stripping some wire off of where the, you know, the cables for incoming supply and outgoing into your house connected. It would short across and the meter would not advance anymore because you weren't using electricity through the meter, you were just getting it straight from the supply. We ended up then being able to call the police and say, we have a suspected growing operation going on. They probably owe a couple of £1,000 for the amount of electricity they've been using. That was definitely beyond personal use. The other one that we had, it was quite serious. It was very shocking when it was going on. Just a normal generic Thursday. All of a sudden there's a bit of a hubbub in one side of the office, and this hubbub spreads like wildfire. Something had happened and something fairly serious was going on, but we couldn't exactly tell what because, you know, it's the game of telephone, isn't it? Everything sort of passes and you never hear exactly what it is, and eventually we had a meeting. What had happened was an engineer had gone out to someone's home. What had happened was this engineer turned up at the person's house, knocked on the door. The moment the door was open, the poor engineer, by all accounts, managed to get through shouting, "Get everybody out!" And at that point, the house exploded and sent the engineer and the other person you know, couple of meters back. Everyone fine, everyone all okay. Just, you know, obviously very, very loud ringing in the ears, and I think there was, you know, a couple of hairs got singed and that sort of thing. But yeah, it was a very, very odd situation. That has never happened since. Thankfully, I don't think. It's the only time that I've ever heard of anything like that actually happening. Yeah, I've got a couple of extra minutes. We're not quite at the end of a 15-minute run yet, even if I edit it down. So let's go into some other things. So after Saguta had finished her master's degree in advanced computer science, we started helping her looking for work, which basically involved me just driving her to various different parts of the country, letting her, you know, fly off to France and all sorts of places. After quite a lot of job searching, she eventually got offered a position in Bristol. Bristol is pretty much the opposite side and the opposite end of the country from where I grew up. When we got to Bristol, obviously I was looking for work but can't really find anything, especially not for someone unskilled. I was with a temping agency and I had a few interviews, but nothing ever really panned out. After a little while, I said, you know what, Saguta's a lot better paid than I am, even if I got the best job that I can possibly get. If I keep my costs down, I can try and improve myself a little bit. I can try and do some stuff, maybe do a course or something. And what actually ended up happening, I weighed myself. I was shocked, absolutely horrified that the scale said 117 kilos. I have no idea what that is in pounds. I wanted to make a big change. I started going along to the gym. Me and Saguta both signed up. We started on a paleo diet, which I'm sure anyone who's actually following dieting and things like that will be aware of it. It's sort of like Atkins, but there's slightly different rules to it. Because there was nothing else for me to do apart from job hunt, and you can do that mainly using a computer, I started going to the gym every single day. Start out by going on an elliptical for about 40 minutes. Then I would go in the free weight section, a lot of arm exercises, back strengthening, core strengthening, all sorts of stuff. And then I would finish everything off with a full 1 hour session of rowing. Unsurprisingly, with doing all of that and, you know, sort of restricting the amount of food I was eating and that sort of stuff, I did lose weight. It took, I think, 3 to 4 months. It was around about 3 to 4 months, I think. And I got down to 100.6 kilos. If I can hit 100 again, or even surpass 100, I'm gonna be a happy man. So after I've been doing that for about 3 or 4 months, I relaxed the diet side of thing and kept going to the gym. And I actually ended up getting job number 7. So I was playing Magic Gathering twice a week at Forbidden Planet. I was asked if I could help out with running one of the events because I was fairly experienced. I knew quite a lot of the rules and how things interacted and things worked out. So they asked me if I mind volunteering. I said, no, you know, I'll help out, you know, or anything I can do. And after another month or so of that, I was told, you know, do I mind coming in and working a couple of shifts? They can't promise if it leads to anything, but, you know, one or two shifts a week just to have a little bit of spending money, get myself, you know, back into the swing of working. I said, yes, absolutely. And from there, things took off. It took, I want to say, maybe about 3 months, and I was third key holder, so third in charge of the store. I was given full control of the board game section and the card games stuff. I was, you know, sort of put in charge of opening and closing the store on mornings. I had my shifts changed so that Fridays and Sundays I would come in around about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the evening and run the Magic the Gathering events all the way through up until nearly midnight. We had events that I would help out on, like My Little Pony Day. Do you remember when My Little Pony first became a thing? Like the recent sort of the recent one. Jess, who was working there at the time, she organised pretty much the entire thing. She did a really, really good job. But at the time that it was coming out, there was a My Little Pony card game that was designed and released. My Little Pony is owned by Hasbro, and when Hasbro want to make a card game, they go to people like Wizards of the Coast, who designed Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering, and they own them. I had a lot of fun with it, not because I was massively into My Little Pony or anything, but because the cards made perfect sense if you had a Magic the Gathering background. It was just slightly tweaked from the existing rules, and instead of 5 colours of magic, there were 6 colours of friendship. But the colours were different. So you could start saying such wonderful things using Magic the Gathering terminology as, I've got a yellow-pink aggro friendship deck. And people's heads would explode. And it was awesome. So during the My Little Pony Day, we had this massive card game tournament of the My Little Pony card game. And over the course of years, we had countless other games and board game tournaments. We had International Tabletop Day every single April. And yeah, it was so good working there. It was so much fun. But at the end of you know, my time there, basically Suguta had been offered a job that was paying a lot more money, enough money to make moving and leaving everything behind worth it. And that was when we moved from Bristol in the UK to Bournemouth in the UK. So we still haven't even hit Germany yet. And we're already up to job number 8. Right, so that's it. I'm gonna call it here. I'm gonna have to edit this down like there's no tomorrow. I think I'm on, this is about half an hour of stuff. I'm gonna really have to cut stuff down. Right, okay, well, thank you very much for joining me. I will see you all later. See you all tomorrow for the end of day number 27. See you later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.